Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Power Core Productions and Podcastings. I'm your host, Jerron Harrington, and I'm here to bring you a new series to the world of anime and DC Comics. Now, for those of you who have been clamoring for this for a while now, we are finally getting into doing a Record of Ragnarok story. But I wanted to put my own little caveat, or a twist, if you might say. Because with the story of the Record of Ragnarok, I feel like when it comes to the tale of gods versus man, they try to have this sort of traditionalism to it. And while there is a bit of a flair when it comes to the mortal representation, I feel like when you apply this to the world of DC Comics, you can take it to a whole other level when it comes to picking mortals to defend the humans. But I want to take that a step further. Because in this story, it's not going to be a classic tale of virtuous heroes fighting against corrupt gods. No, corrupt gods fighting against mortals who are just as corrupt. And in the end, you're left wondering, which side really deserves to reign supreme? But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. After 7 million years, mortal man's history in this universe is about to come to an end. From the planet Earth to far beyond in the stars, mortal man has caused nothing but harm, chaos, and destruction, regardless of the shape or form that they have taken. The result has always been the same. But the end of mortal history will not come through way of a nuclear war, or through means of extraterrestrial invasion, or a fight amongst petty metahumans and other abominations created by mankind. But rather, it will come at the hands of the gods who made them. These words rung out among the council of Valhalla, the gathering of all deities, all joined as the overseer, the god of lightning, Zeus, served as the reigning presider over the occasion. For all of the gods who had been gathered together, this had been a long time coming. Over 7 million years. 7 million years and they still can't get it right. No matter how many stupid costumes they try to put on. Seriously, who do these mortals think they are? They go around thinking that they're so important, and yet all they cause is problems. The Earth, it's hardly recognizable. I'm sick of giving mortals a chance. Doesn't matter what planet you go to. You've got pacifists that do nothing about it. You've got warmongers that just go on in bloody conquests. Disease, famine, hunger, pestilence. All of this is their doing. And what's worse, they keep trying so desperately to get into places that they shouldn't. Yeah, who do these mortals think they are? Always trying to claim the power of gods. It's far beyond them. And they've grown far too powerful. I concur. I agree. We're done with the mortals. Done with the mortals. Done with the mortals. These words continued to cry out. The gods were indeed finished. So many years, so many chances, so many opportunities. And yet time and time again they were let down. No matter how many good ones came along, there were always bad ones that just never got it. So many psychopaths, so many fools. They were all one and the same. What was even the point? Why bother? They were a lost cause. It was time to be rid of them. In the midst of the meeting, a woman stepped forth, along with a smaller girl behind her. The woman's name was Brunhilde, the Valkyrie, along with her sister Valkyrie, Gaul. Are you sure about this, Brunhilde? If you get involved with them, do you know what they'll do to you? You might be a demigod, but you're forgetting one key word, demi, before the god. I will do what I must, Gaul. Yeah, you're going to end up getting all of us erased from existence. Well then, Zeus would say to the council of gods, if we're all in agreement that mortal man is to be brought to an end, then by the power invested in me, I hereby officially decree and not so fast. Huh? Everyone turned to see who had spoken out, and when they saw who it was, they weren't too impressed. Who do you think you are? Yeah, that's right. Demi-human trash. You have no business to speak in the Council of Deities. This is the Council of Valhalla. How dare you interrupt such an occasion? Who do you think you are? Everyone was now yelling in disappointment and anger. The fact that a Valkyrie of all people chose to get involved at a time like this. But Zeus, he hadn't banged the gavel yet, so he wanted to hear this. Hear me. Are you gods so ready to do away with mortals that you would not give them a chance? A chance for what, Brunhilde? What would another 1,000 years do? They should be exterminated. Be done with it. It's time to wipe the slate clean. And there's no point in trying again. So, you gods act in your same hubris. Whenever something doesn't go your way, you're so quick to discard it. Like a child that's done with its new toy, always looking on for something better. If honestly, I didn't take that you all would be such cowards. Cowards? Who is she calling a coward? Be careful how you speak, Valkyrie. Watch your tongue if you want to keep it. I am only pointing out our own laws. As gods, you claim to be held to a higher standard than mere mortals, who you say cannot even comprehend your mightiness or your laws. So why should you abandon them now? Laws? What is she speaking about? It's complete nonsense, that's what it is. She's stalling. She delays the inevitable. We're done with the mortals. As stated in Article 62, Clause 15 of the Constitution, a final battle between the beast and his master. I am proposing that the mortals be given a chance to defend themselves, trial by combat, gods versus mortal. I am proposing the Ragnarok. The Ragnarok? The Ragnarok? Is she serious? Surely she jests. The Ragnarok? Oh, please. They'd be lucky if they even got one score on the board. It'd be a clean sweep. We could give them infinite chances. It wouldn't make a difference. So that's your plan, Brunhilde. You wish to enact the Ragnarok. If you're all so confident, what's there to be afraid of? If you believe that mankind is so beneath you, then this should be little more than child's play. She's clearly stalling, sir. There's no reason to go on with this. Why are we even entertaining a demigod? A worthless Valkyrie? A Ragnarok? It's completely preposterous. Why would we even do such a thing? That clause is little more than a formality. To honor it, sure, it would be in the way of our tradition. But it would be just as much so as to honor whether or not you could sweep the entire ocean with nothing but a mop. It's impossible. You would be surprised, Brunhilde would say. Mortal man has a way of making the impossible possible. I believe they should be given a chance. If not, if you think that it's truly beneath you to even try, then by all means, I will take back what I said. Do away with the human mortals. Wipe them all out in one fell swoop. Because it's obvious that you all lack conviction. She wishes to goad us into a fight, Zeus would say. But why not? These bones of mine don't get much exercise these days, and it's not often that you get a chance to execute your might. Very well. We'll agree to have the Ragnarok, but on one condition. You believe that mortals are worth fighting for. This is what the Valkyrie believes, Zeus said, as he stood before the crowd of deities. This Valkyrie here claims that mankind should have the right to defend themselves. Now, I'm not anything if I'm not a fair god. If we are not fair, we should honor tradition. And with that, I believe that this could be a chance at redemption. Think about it. The chance to right wrongs, to see if they can learn. Maybe when their back is against the wall. Maybe when they have no other choice. When all the cards are on the table. When there's nothing left to hide. When you have to give it your all because there is no tomorrow. I like to think that that's when you see the best and the worst of people. And I use the word worst because that is all you will have to deal with, Brunhilde. You can call on any mortal that you wish. But, you cannot call on a righteous champion. A righteous champion? She's banned from using righteous champions. Who will she even find at that point? Oh no, Gull would think to herself. Zeus was going to put them into a trap. To not be able to call on a righteous champion, that meant they couldn't call on the heroes who had fought for mankind throughout the millennia. If they couldn't call on a single one, well, in the simplest of terms, they could only use villains, people who were evil, whose hearts were impure and corrupt. Who could you even find at that point? And I agree. We will weigh them on the scales of righteousness to make sure that they are not pure of heart. I will fight with the scum of all mortal mankind, and I promise you they will win. Well, if she agrees to these terms, then let the Ragnarok commence! The deities would now be stirred with themselves as the preparations for the Ragnarok would be put into place. Brunhilde would be given the scales of righteousness. The scales were that of gold. On one side, the side of light, and on the other, the side of darkness. When the scale was held in front of an individual, the more it leaned to the dark, the more negative, the more unrighteous, the more wicked of a man. That was the judgment. The scales were to be used so that anyone brought in for the Ragnarok must be weighed in the dark, not in the light. Brunhilde knew this, and she took it all into consideration. Through mankind's history, through their cunning, there were many of a rotten core, not just from Earth, but from all across the galaxy, from the stars. But she knew that for this to work, she would have to call on one who could bring them together better than she ever could. As she held the scales to the summoning portal, she called forth who she would deem her acolyte. Bring me the mortal known as Lex Luthor. As the portal would begin to glow, from out would step a man, dressed in a fine suit, his head shining bald. He seemed more surprised than anything else. Where exactly was he? Lex had to take this all into consideration. One moment he was standing in the building of LexCorp, and the next thing he knew, he found himself here, standing before what appeared to be a deity. Magic, I presume. A form of divinity. You seem rather calm about all of this, Brunhilde would say. Trust and believe. You're not the first god I've come across. And these parlor tricks, I've seen better at a kid's birthday party. I'm sure you have. So why have you summoned me here, then? No point in wasting time. And I don't want the runaround. What's the meaning of all this? You may find this hard to believe, Mr. Luthor, but you are at the end of time. The end of time? About 7 million years into your future, to be exact. I see. So this is the end of time. I didn't think I'd get the chance to witness it. But I take it that I wasn't here for sightseeing. No, you're here because the gods have deemed mortal man as useless, and they are prepared to wipe all mortals from across the universe. All mortals, eh? And tell me, who are these gods? The gods of man, the gods of other worlds, the gods who have made humanity, who have made all species in their image. It took them 7 million years to finally have enough of us. They truly are a lazy sort. And I take it that you've called me here to fight on your behalf as champion? Though I wonder, where's the Kryptonian at? I'm surprised you haven't called him, or wait. You can't, can you? I'm going to take a wild guess here. The gods are a bunch of douchebags who think so little of humanity that they think calling on the likes of me will make no difference. They're not allowing you to fight with the heroes, now are they? How did he figure that out? Gaul would say. Because I know better than anyone. There's no difference between a god or a man. They're all the same. And they all fall. I see there's no getting past it for you. I've called you to be my acolyte in this affair. I figured if there's anyone who can help me in this endeavor, it's you. And why exactly should I help you? If what you're saying is true, I don't even exist in this point in time. And If I decided to go back right now, perhaps I could just end all of this. Just take the fight to the gods in my own time. Stop it before it even starts. You'd have no way of doing so, and I promise you, you would fail. If you think that, then you don't know the first thing about me. I know enough. I know that you're proud, that you're arrogant, that you think the world revolves around you, and that you're the center of everything. I am. I am the center of my own world. And I don't acknowledge any other. My world is what I make it, what I choose it to be. And let's make one thing perfectly clear. You came to me because you want my help. And I know why. I can assure you of one thing. Whoever's in charge made a very, very poor decision. You only want the bad guys. That's fine. Because I promise you, you'll get more from the bad guys than you could have ever gotten from a goody two-shoes hero. I, for one, don't care about your morals, your rules, and I damn sure don't care about a god. Because what's a god to a non-believer? But I do believe in one thing. Absolute power. Absolute annihilation. And I have no intentions on losing. But I do wish to be compensated when this is all over. Of course, I know that you wouldn't have it any other way. What exactly do you want? I'll tell you after we win. Gull, not being able to hold her composure any further, would pull Brunhilde to the side because this just couldn't be ignored any further. Big Sis Brunhilde, this is bad news. Really, really bad news. Of all the people you could have called to be your acolyte, you chose him? He's dangerous. We can't trust him. And what other choice did I have? Anyone else. They're all bad choices. But he's the one who sees the vision. He's the one who will gain us victory. But at what cost? Big Sis, I don't think you understand. I know you want to fight for humanity. Truly, I do. But you've literally invited the fox into the den. You know what he's capable of. He's conniving. He's a lowlife. He's the worst of the worst. One way or another, he'll be worse than any of the gods. Because he's a mortal who aspires to be one. And that's exactly why we need him. Unlike most others, I believe that he will be the key to our victory. Trust me, everything's going to be fine. Do we have a deal, Mr. Luthor? Brunhilde would reach to shake his hand. Of course. Now, brief me on the situation. We're holding a tournament. It's called the Ragnarok. 13 gods, 13 mortals. First to 7 wins. I see. No lack of creativity on your part. All of mortal kind. All of it comes down to a mere tournament. And not just that, but you have to pick from the worst of the worst. Using this, the scales of righteousness, they judge the good and the bad in a human being or of any mortal. And I'm assuming that my scale leaned on the side of negative, right? Without fail. And we can only pull others who are in your camp. Well, that's not going to be a problem. I happen to know quite a few individuals who fit the criteria that we're looking for. Don't doubt me, Valkyrie. You've made the right choice. Why settle for a league when you can have the Legion? As the Ragnarok was set to begin, the stadium for combat had been set. Deities and humans alike, all lining in the rows of seats, watching on as the announcer would call for the opening ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, gods, goddesses, men and women of all kind and ages, I welcome you to the tournament of all tournaments, for a contest unlike any other that has ever been seen in this universe or will ever be seen again. This is the Ragnarok! 13 gods, 13 mortals will engage in one-on-one combat. The first team to 7 victories will be the winners. If the mortals win, they will exist for another 1,000 years before their next judgment. But if the gods should win, then all mortals across the universe will be eliminated. Now, without further ado, the first round of the Ragnarok, representing the gods, he comes from the hailing streets of Asgard. He is the son of Odin, the god of thunder, who wields the mighty Mjolnir. I give you Thor, Odin's son. The crowds would begin to cheer and roar as from out of the section of the gods came in a booming step the Norse god of thunder, the mighty Thor. It looks like they're not holding back, Gaul would say. They're bringing out Thor. So, Lex, how would you counter? I already know. He's a bit on the dumb side, but he'll get the job done. You think so? I know so. Though, keeping him under control, that will be rather difficult. He only has 7 days, you know. And now, representing the mortals, he is a being who died in a swamp and was brought back. Born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on a Wednesday, took ill on a Thursday, grew worse on Friday, died on a Saturday, buried on a Sunday. Solomon Grundy. The people of humanity watched as the undead behemoth stepped into the battlefield. As now, the first round of the Ragnarok was underway. Thor versus Solomon Grundy. Now, let the first round of the Ragnarok begin! This concludes Record of Ragnarok, Legion Wars, What if the Legion of Doom fought in the Ragnarok? Season 1, Part 1. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue with Record of Ragnarok, Legion Wars. What if the Legion of Doom fought in the Ragnarok? Season 1, Part 2. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.